Sabrina Carpenter. Everyone thinks Sabrina Carpenter came out of nowhere in 2024. One song, Espresso, an overnight sensation. But here's what most people don't know. She'd already been chasing this moment for 13 years. 4 albums, 1 label drop, and years of being told she just wasn't it. This is the real story of how Sabrina Carpenter almost became a footnote before she became a headline. Sabrina Carpenter didn't stumble into fame. She was 11 years old from a small town in Pennsylvania when she landed a guest spot on a gritty crime drama and then, soon after, signed to Disney's Hollywood Records at just 14. For half a decade, she did everything the machine asked. 70-plus episodes of a Disney Channel series, 4 studio albums released back-to-back, tours, interviews, the whole package. But here's the part that stings. None of it broke through. She was surrounded by bigger names, working in the shadow of the Disney Star label, releasing music that charted quietly and then disappeared. By the time she walked away from Hollywood Records in 2019, she was in her 20s, with a decade of work behind her, and no real hit to show for it. She later admitted she felt a real distance from those years, saying she'd become a different person pre and post that chapter of her life. Even opening for Taylor Swift's Eras tour in 2023, arenas full of people who weren't there for her, she was still, in the industry's eyes, someone else's opening act. In 2021, she signed with Island Records and started over, almost from scratch. A new single called Skin gave her a first small entry on the charts. Nothing huge, but a sign of life. Then came 2024. Espresso dropped in April, and something shifted that even Sabrina didn't fully see coming. It became the song of the summer. 4 straight weeks in the top 10, a Video Music Award for Song of the Year. Then, Please, Please, Please landed her very first #1. The album, short and sweet, turned her into pop's biggest new obsession. Sold out arenas, a Saturday Night Live sketch built around her own song, and a spot as one of the most streamed artists in the world. After 13 years in the business, she wasn't the opening act anymore. She was the headline. But bigger fame brought a new kind of pain. In 2025, she released her 7th album, Man's Best Friend, and the cover alone set off a firestorm. Critics and women's advocacy groups accused her of leaning into degrading imagery. It became a national conversation, played out across morning shows and think pieces, with people questioning whether the same woman who sang about being fed up with men was now selling submission. Sabrina didn't hide from it. She addressed it head-on in interview after interview, famously telling critics to get out more, and doubled down that the image was about a woman choosing her own control, not losing it. She even joked about the backlash in her own Saturday Night Live monologue. And the industry answered back, not with cancellation, but with some of the biggest recognition of her career. 6 Grammy nominations, including Album of the Year, nominations at the BRIT Awards, a headline slot at Coachella. The controversy didn't end her moment. It proved she could survive one on her own terms. 13 years of being overlooked, 1 album that finally broke through, and a controversy that could have buried a lesser star, but only made her bigger. Sabrina Carpenter's story isn't really about Espresso. It's about everything that came before it, the years nobody was watching, and what she did when they finally were. If you want more real stories behind the fame, the struggles, the scandals, the comebacks, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because Pain and Fame drops a new one soon.